Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And our headline tonight, Stargirl has been cancelled and it won't be the first show that's going to get cancelled, because they're going to cancel all these shows because they want to connect the entire universe. What I mean by that is they're going to cancel all the existing DC shows because they want to connect a brand new universe together. Movies, animation, TV. And so this is why it's happening. Isaac Cruz, Pineda. Hey, Mick. Good evening, Isaac. Ronnie Dodge. Hey, Mick. These shows being cancelled makes sense as it will be all under DC Studios. Absolutely, Ronnie. You get it. What's going to happen, and I'll repeat what's going to happen, is they're going to create new shows and new movies and a new universe, all interconnected. They don't want separate TV shows and separate movies. So this is why Titans is a goner. Superman and Lois will be cancelled. And as we know, Stargirl has already been announced to have this final season be the final season, season 3. John, good evening, Mick. Good evening, John. So yes, that's why Stargirl's been cancelled. That's why the others will be cancelled, because they want to create a unified DC universe, and that makes absolute sense. I mean, I'm not particularly invested in all these shows anyway, and so it doesn't really matter to me. Rolo, no, Stargirl. MSGT, howdy, Mick. Good evening, MSGT. I don't know Stargirl was even still on the air. Yes, 3rd season will be the final season. I expect Titans to go the same way, and I expect Superman and Lois to go the same way as well. Ronnie Dodge, also everything TV shows will go, though James and Peter Safran from tomorrow. Yes, it's official. They will be in charge as from tomorrow. James Gunn has been trolling us on Twitter, showing pictures of squirrels and saying, I'd like to know the future of the DC universe. He's making fun of us. He's trolling us. Is something coming? I don't know. Tomorrow could be a big day. Thursday could be a big day as we get the investor call. We may get nothing. We may have to wait. Isaac Cruz Pineda. I finally watched Black Adam. It was really good. I'm glad you liked it, Isaac. I liked it as well. It's not the Dark Knight. It's not the Joker, but it's a lot of fun. MSGT, I see this as more of a trimming of the fat. Well, you could see it that way. For me, it's about getting rid of these shows and creating a unified universe. TV connected, movies connected, the animation connected. It's the right way to go. This is what they're doing with Marvel, and this is what they're doing with Star Wars, and it makes sense to create, DC Universe shows that are connected to the movies on HBO Max instead of dumping movies on HBO Max, which we don't want. Ronnie Dodge, I love James as a president. He trolls us, but also has a laugh with us. I love it. John, could they use the DCCW characters in the main DCU going forward? They have every right to be able to do that, but I don't think that they will. Hunter Ricky, Movies TV Mad, I have a question. Do you think the Stargirl actress will come to DCU? I doubt it. Isaac Cruz Pineda, will they create a new animated DC universe? What will happen, Isaac? They will create an animated DC universe that's connected to the movies and the new television shows that they're going to develop. Ronnie Dodge, I feel we would get official DC Studios logo on Thursday with the quarter earnings call. Yes, I think we will at least get that. Maybe not much more, but yeah, that would be awesome. And we also want an official DC Studios Twitter account, although they're going to have to pay 20 quid a month thanks to Elon Musk, because they want to be verified, don't they? So it's all very exciting. I think cancelling these shows is the right way to go. I mean, what's a dynasty Greg Berlanti created? Arrow, The Flash, Legend, Supergirl, Doom Patrol, Stargirl. It's all under his production banner. But it's been a great dynasty, but now it's coming to an end because we need to unify everything. MSGT, but I think the MCU has suffered because of the fire hose of connected content that has been blasted out. I prefer the DCU to remain small in scope, quality over content. Look, it's a double-edged sword, my friend. but they will create a unified universe with TV, animation, and films, whether we want that or not. And it's up to them to create good content. Just because it's unified, just because there's going to be a lot of it, doesn't mean it has to be bad. Isaac Cruz Pineda, since Dr. Fate died, who is going to pick up the mantle? Pierce Brosnan. He's not dead. He's not dead. He's not dead because Pierce Brosnan pretty much hinted as much. Ronnie Dodge, on Instagram, James put the same post, and the actress who plays Lois in Simon and Lois said to James, "I'm glad you're my new boss. Don't want to be cancelled more like Lowell." Oh my God. Oh my God. You're going to get cancelled, sweetheart. You're going to get cancelled. You see, all these little fucktards are kissing the ass. Glad you're my boss. I don't want to be cancelled. You're going to get cancelled. And it's not really up to James Gunn either. Those decisions have already been made by Zaslav. Hunter Iggy, Movies TV Man. Do you think Daly and Kevin... Do you think Tim Daly and Kevin Conroy and Susan Eisenberg, the original voice actors from the cartoon show Justice League, come to DCAU in a crossover DCU? Maybe. It's more than likely. MSGT Mick, where are your thoughts on Peacemaker? I rather liked it. MSGT, I didn't rather like it. I loved it. I think it's James Gunn's best work. I think it's better than Guardians. It's better than Scooby-Doo. It's better than the Suicide Squad. It's his best work. We didn't really like Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad. We wasn't supposed to. But then he has this amazing character arc. I really liked it. John, I would love to see a DC animated movie in cinemas like the Spider-Man animated movie. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited to see James Gunn and Peter Safran at SDCC next year. MSGT, I agree. Gunn did a great job with it. He really did. I really liked it. I didn't think I was going to like it. I just thought it was something they were doing just to say, hey, we're doing DCEU TV shows now on HBO Max. And I just thought it was just something he'd come up with for something. But it was really good. And I really liked it. So, yeah, Peacemaker is cool. And I'm looking forward to his Deathstroke series, which I think we're going to get. And I'm looking forward to Peacemaker too. Ronnie Dodge, I feel we may get a slate at Comic-Con next year. I feel we may get a slate before then. Isaac Cruz Pineda, is James Gunn going to also foresee Matt Reeves' universe? Well, according to the Hollywood Reporter, no. But DC Studios is going to be under one banner. But what I'm assuming is James will be more involved in connecting this DC universe. But it's an interesting situation. John, do you think they could do a DC animated movie in cinemas? Maybe. That could be something they look to do. Is there money in it? Was there money in Super Pets? Not very much. So I think that element may stick to HBO Max, as well as the TV shows they develop. But that's still a good thing. Ronnie Dodge, Joker and the Batman universe is under Warner Brothers Studios, not DC Studios. Well, no. It's all under the same banner. So when those films come up, it will say DC Studios. It will say DC Studios. Now, who's in charge of that? You know, because I feel that Matt and Todd are going to be in charge of their own movies. Now, I know the Hollywood Reporter said that, but Hollywood Reporters sometimes go off on their same tangent. It will be under the same umbrella. So, although they're not connected to the new, like the DCU, it's still going to be under the DC Studios banner. There's going to be nothing separated, but they won't be part of the connective universe, of course. Because they're separate. They're separate. If you're going to have a DC Studios, you've got to have it all under the same banner, or it's dumb. But this is what they're attempting to do. Ronnie George, be interesting to see how Dwayne and James Gunn will work together. Well, they won't have to work that closely together. I mean, it all depends if we move forward with more Black Adam, if The Rock is involved any further. You know, we mustn't make assumptions. The Hamadaverse was one thing. There will be changes, like you're seeing cancellations with the Arrowverse shows and all of that. Anything can be cancelled or, you know, change within this new connective universe. So we mustn't make any assumptions that people are going to be working together. Big changes are afoot. Isaac Cruz Pineda. So James Gunn will connect Matt Reeves' universe to the main DCEU timeline. No, but it will be all under the DC Universe banner, like Marvel Studios, right? Marvel Studios is under this. They make all those, it comes up. So they're not connected. But DC Universe, DC Studios is one studio that will produce DC content. Rolo, we can have Reeves, Batman, and Jokerverse, but not Stargirl and other shows. Well, it's different. It's a different situation. First of all, you're looking at a potential $1 billion a project with the Batman sequels and the Joker sequels. It's very different. There's no money in those shows, my friend. They want to connect everything together. There's no point. And look, Rolo, by the way, the Arrowverse and the Berlanti TV verse has been going for since 2012. That's 10 years. That's a great success. It was never going to carry on forever. Ronnie Dodge, James, Peter, and Zaslav have a plan. I'm here for it. Bat Super, DC Studios with mainstream universe label and a DC Black label. Yeah, they could separate things. They could give a DC Black label, for example, to Todd Phillips' universe and could be under a separate banner. But I haven't heard anything about that yet, but I'm sure we'll get details soon. John, I can see them using the John Williams Superman theme going forward. I really don't know what they're going to do in terms of that, John. I think certainly the John Williams thing was used as I'm back, Superman's back. We really don't know what's going to happen there. Could get a brand new kind of theme. Who knows? Bat Super, Reeves, Batman, and Phillips Joker are high quality productions. The CW era is over. It certainly is because it's been bought out now. Something else that Zaslav did immediately said, I don't want the CW. Sell it. The CW doesn't even make any fucking money. Roller, will Harley Quinn show be cancelled? No, I think it's been greenlit for a fourth year. It's animation. And if you wanted to connect that to the connective tissue, you can easily do that. MSGT, maybe a blend of Williams and Zimmer, maybe. Ronnie Dodge, I feel they could mix both Zimmer and Williams' theme together. They could do, but I don't think they will. They may use them separately. Ronnie Dodge, the DCEU is no longer, it's the DCU, baby. That's it, it's the DCU now. It's the DCU, and which means anything can change at any time. And the films that are coming up, anything can happen to them, just like these shows. You mustn't get comfortable with what the old leadership implemented and get used to things being taken away and added in. Isaac Cruz Pineda, what role does the Batman play in The Flash? A very quick one. That's what I'll tell you. A very quick one. But what Batman are you talking about? Because we got Batfleck in the beginning of that film in a great action set piece, which you're really going to like. Isaac Cruz Pineda, oh no, I've already read that. I'm faster than you tonight. Keep the comments coming. And what do we do with any negativity? We ignore it. Please smash the like button if you like what you see. As Nerdrotic says, if you don't like what you see, thank you for watching. John, will they cancel the Gotham Knights TV show? Well, as far as I know, it's in production. So I think what will happen with that, they'll do a season of it, then it will go. That's a weird one, isn't it? That's a bit weird. I don't even know why that's a thing. Isaac Cruz Pineda shows us how you ignore negativity, Mick. How do I ignore negativity? Well, I don't read out negative comments. It's not rocket science, my friend. Ronnie Dodge, James, get Karen Gillan as Poison Ivy. Let's see what happens there. I mean, he's the kind of guy who will bring in people that he likes. I mean, he's good friends with Michael Rosenbaum, Lex from Smallville. So I'm hoping that could mean positive things with the restoration of his Lex Luthor. That could be very exciting going forward. Isaac Cruz Pineda, Gotham Night Show was a mistake. Look, it's weird. It's weird. I just don't even understand. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up not happening. But as far as I know, they're going forward with it. It's insane. It's a bit like this redevelopment of this Green Lantern show. I don't expect that to go forwards. Mark Guggenheim is not happy about that redevelopment either, but he was in charge of the other show, so that doesn't surprise me. Zaslav is putting a load of noise, a lot of noses out of joint, because for a long time WB was allowing people to come and go as they please and do whatever shit they wanted, and Zaslav means business. Isaac Cruz Pineda, who's your Green Lantern, Mick? John Stewart, MSGT. Yeah, who is Lex Luthor going forward? Has my interest. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to be Jesse Eisenberg. Ronnie Dodge, with the amount of DC comic book writers so happy about James taking over, makes me happy, especially Jim Lee. Yeah, I mean, they're going to say they're happy, aren't they? They're not exactly going to come out and say, oh, man, we hate you. I mean, everyone wants a crack at this. John, did you ever see the 2011 Wonder Woman CW TV show? I didn't. It had Adrienne Padlecki in it, didn't it? No, I never saw that. She was a lawyer. It was a legal show. Yeah, it was an odd idea, wasn't it? Yeah, if I'm working in that studio for DC Comics, I'm going to say, oh, James, kissy, kissy bum. Oh, yeah, you're so amazing. Please don't fire me. Like Lois Lane did, you know, from Superman and Lois. But you're still going to get cancelled, my friend. MSGT, I'm not having Eisenberg is too bad, but it is understandable. Isaac Cruz Pineda, Jesse was a horrible portrayal of Lex. Another reason BVS was not very watchable for me. I really enjoyed BVS. I thought he was a great Lex Luthor. I wouldn't have cast him myself, but I think he came across well as Lex. I think he kind of displayed the hatred and jealousy he has for Lex has for Superman in the comics as well, but he wasn't for everyone. Bad Super, I have faith in what Zaslav is doing. I was worried for a while, but it is starting to look pretty good. Yeah, listen, the engines have been revved up. Now, this was always coming, and big changes were always coming. Razor, I would want Diane Lane and Amy Adams to return. It all depends, doesn't it? If we're going to a new universe, they may not come back. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We don't know if this is the Superman we know. And from the Snyderverse either. We just don't know what the plan is. We don't know if Black Adam was kind of jumping to post-Flashpoint. It's all very up in the air. I'm quite sure they will very soon explain what they're going to be doing. Something that we need. Two guys like Peter Safran and James Gunn are very communicative with the audience, and they need to be, because people really don't know what's going to happen going forward. Isaac Cruz Pineda, what I want to know is what reason Superman has to be working with Amanda Waller. Well, a lot of people are upset that he's working for the government, but let me explain something to you. Waller could have a kryptonite bomb in his head. She could have abducted Lois Lane. There's many reasons. Or, call me old-fashioned if you want. Hey, Superman, there's a dangerous threat called Black Adam. Would you like to deal with him? Yes, of course I would. That's my fucking job as the leader of the Justice League. MSGT, I have always been on Team Zaslav. The moment he said that DC is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, I could see where he was headed, especially with getting Affleck back on screen after Flash. Ronnie Josh, should I tweet DC Comics saying when we get in a DC studio account low? You definitely should do that. My phone's off right now because I'm having trouble charging it, so I'm trying to salvage some battery life. So I don't know what's going on Twitter right now. I checked it before I came on live, as I always do. But yeah, big troubles with my phone. Tried everything, doesn't work. I don't know what I'm going to do. Tried cleaning out the port, doesn't do anything. This is Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. We've been on air for about 20 minutes. This is our live show we have every evening. We will have the DC Universe Daily Live every morning as well, and maybe a pre-recorded video after the main show in the morning as well, because I'm very inspired to do loads of content. Ronnie Dodge, someone has been casted in the Penguin series. That's correct, yes, as the Falcone daughter, yep. Isaac Cruz Pineda, hey mate, how do you make money outside of YouTube? Well, I don't make money on YouTube. If you can see my views and likes, I don't make any money on here. I write, direct, and star in my own plays here in Cyprus. I run a theatre company, so I'm doing that. I'm also developing the first English-speaking dramas who are on Cypriot TV, and I may be returning to LA in the new year. There's an interesting opportunity out there for me. We will see. MSGT, hit the like. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Nobody needs reminding, really shouldn't need reminding, but yeah, people do. So smash the like button, or no one's ever going to see I'm on here. Bad Super, I think the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and Black Adam are all post Flashpoint. It makes sense with the Batman. With the Batman does not kill and heroes don't kill. Yes, Bat Super, that's a very, very good point. They were very clever not to mention it, although there's a problem with that. Ezra Miller was still the Flash in Peacemaker. Isaac Cruz Pineda, I'm waiting for the day your channel explodes into popularity. You and me both. I mean, I'm very patient. It may never happen, but I enjoy doing it. I love the sound of my own voice. So thankfully for me, there's reasons to keep doing it. I'm sure people think it's weird that I do live with like 10 people, or I do videos when I get about 50 views, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy doing it. And it's not about fame or fortune for me. It's because I love this shit. I love geeks. I love nerds. I love DC. I love TV, and I love movies, and I love talking about them. But thank you, Isaac. It will be great for this to explode. But that's how you lot come in. If you want it to explode, spread the word. But it's great to be here. It's great to be talking about DC Universe. I'm very excited. With all the new developments. Obviously, you don't want to see shows cancelled. You don't want to see good people losing their jobs. But that is the industry. That is showbiz. And yeah, that's the way it is. And they're changing things up. Isaac Cruz Pineda, the Joker won't have any association with the DCEU universe, right? As far as we know, no. Brian Branch. Hey, brother, good evening to you, Brian. Hope you're doing all right. You're on Movies TV Mad Live. And the breaking news tonight is that Stargirl has been cancelled, and DC Universe are looking to implement a universe of TV and films and animation that is connected. But as I say, the Berlantiverse has been around for nearly, 10 years. So it's been a good run. John, all the DC CW shows started off so well. Well, here's the thing, John. Yes, they did deteriorate, but still, it's been around for 10 years. All this stuff's been around for 10 years. All the Berlanti universe, it's been a long run. It's done well. It's done okay. It's done. It wouldn't have survived on a main network like CBS because the ratings are small. But they had a good run, but they don't want these TV shows to be separate. Brian Branch, so is Ben Affleck our Batman or no for DC films, or is it Michael Keaton? I think they're going to be using both of them for now. I don't know which one is the DCEU Batman. That's something that they're going to have to come to terms with. I think that Keaton is still in The Flash. I think he will be in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And I think Ben Affleck will have a small cameo. And I've already said how I think that's going to play out. Rolo, will Superman and Lois get cancelled? I think it will, yes. Ronnie Dodger, I feel the DC studios should have been done 10 years ago. No new news on Twitter. Yeah, listen, this is something that should have been done a long time ago. MSGT, Phillips and Reeves universes are separate from each other, and the DCEU, it's business smart to double dip these characters, move Keaton to a Batman Beyond universe, and Zaslav is triple dipping. We just don't know if that's the plan. The truth is we don't know what the plan is right now. So all these things, you could be right about all these things, of course, but you could be wrong. We just don't know. You know, I don't even know what their plans are. I know what they want. I know instinctively, as understanding this industry, that they want to unify everything together. But obviously, I mean, that would be nuts if the Batman was brought into the DCU and the Joker. Now, I still think that Barry Coogan may be a Joker, but not the Joker. MSGT, true, but that is a great plan. Ronnie Dodge, we don't know what James Gunn and Peter Safran is planning to build out the DCEU. We don't. We have, we've got these Hamada movies. These Hamada movies, they just may be interested in releasing them and getting rid of them and then starting from scratch. We just don't know. what the plan is. And then there's Henry Cavill's Superman. Who knows what's going on there? We're going to find out some stuff soon. But it's all a mystery. It's exciting. And of course, it's great to have theories. There's nothing wrong with theories, but just don't get upset when you don't get what you thought you were going to get. Because it's a bit of a messy situation right now. Ronnie Dodger, I feel Barry's Joker will be in the Arkham series. I just don't know. I just think he did that just to mention that character. He may not even be the Joker. He just may be, because in the comics, there's multiple Jokers. So who knows? Who knows? I don't know what they're planning there. So I don't think even the actor, I mean, he could be lying, but according to him, he hasn't been invited back yet. MSGT, the idea of placing the Suicide Squad, Shazam, Black Adam after the Flash is interesting. Yeah, if that's the case, we just don't know. But yeah, it could be. Rolo, the current DCEU continuity has to be scrapped and start from scratch. Yeah, listen, this was what even Hamada was planning that with Flashpoint. Now, I don't know what they're going to do. Vanage MP6, the DC is in shambles. It is right now, and this is why we've got new leadership to sort that shambles out, and hopefully they can do that. I'm very positive. I hope they can. There's a plan because Zaslav's here to make money, not friends. So, short circuit, we wanted Cavill, we got. Can we just ask for Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck must return. Besides Superman, Batman is very, very important character. Look, short circuit, I love Ben Affleck's Batman. I agree with you. I just don't know what the thought process is there. Ronnie Dodge, maybe we get some news tomorrow as James and Peter takes over. It could be some, yeah, I think there will be an announcement. I think they will make an official announcement. MSGT, I've actually liked most of the DCEU movies. Yes, MSGT, I love BVS, I love MOS, I like Suicide Squad, I love Wonder Woman, one of my favorite comic book movies ever. Zack Snyder's Justice League, Aquaman is fucking great. Shazam's good for, my nieces and nephews adore that film and I think it's cool. I don't like Wonder Woman 84, I don't like Birds of Prey. I like the Suicide Squad. So basically, out of 10 or the 11 or whatever movies, I only don't like 2 of them. So, but the problem is the movies are good, but as a franchise, it just doesn't work. Ronnie Dodge, I love Ben Affleck, but it's also up to him if he wants to be Batman full time. That's true. Rolo, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't mind if the Justice League was all recasted. That wouldn't bother me that much if they decided to do it. It's an interesting situation. Now, if they did that, that would take control totally. Zack Snyder would never be mentioned again in credits or be an EP if they recasted them. Maybe that's something they'd like to do to take his power away or his influence. John, could they change the release dates for Flash and Aquaman 2 again? They certainly could. It's their prerogative. I've had the theory that they're going to release 2 next year and 2 the year after. We will see. Rolo, except Henry. Yeah, Henry's back. Henry's back. Henry isn't going anywhere. Bad Super, I think they have a few different versions of the 10-year plan, slightly altered versions depending on how the plan plays out in the beginning years. Yeah, obviously you need like different scenarios. So it's important to have a plan. But I mean, if you're confident with your plan, you know, and it's not rocket science to create a connected universe on TV, animation and film. You just have to get the right people to make those films. And you know, if you can do that, and if you want directors just to be directors, but you're going to direct the directors, you can do that. That's what Feige does. So it's going to be interesting. But don't forget, Gunn is a director. So he's going to respect directors. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So, yeah. I think tomorrow we could hear something. Could be a big night on my live. Ronnie Dodge, I actually can't wait to see characters pop in other movies and TV series. This is what people want, Ronnie. This is what people want. Now, it's not copying Marvel at all. Marvel have come up with a fucking good idea, and it works, and it's interconnected, right? And it works. So why not do it? You know, Masters of the Universe had the first post-credit scene. So, you know, no one's saying the MCU are copying Masters of the Universe. So come on. John, I really hope they recast The Flash after the movie. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. It's going to be an interesting situation. I mean, Gunn was very complimentary about Ezra Miller when he came in for that cameo on Peacemaker. We will see. But I don't think that's going to be Gunn's decision. I think that's going to be Zaslav's decision. MSGT, if they wish to do the Marvel thing, common tone from movie to movie, they need directors for hire. Visionary directors won't work. No, auteurs won't work. And that's certainly true. Isaac Cruz Pineda, Ezra has to go for me. Yeah, look, I'm sure a lot of people don't want Ezra to continue. As I say, I wouldn't have cast him as the Flash in the first place. But he's an all right Flash. I don't think he's terrible. But obviously his conduct is very unbecoming. And we will see. I mean, the result of his latest legal proceeding about breaking into a house and nicking some booze, I don't think much will come of it anyway. We'll see what happens there. Isaac Cruz Pineda, I've now already read that. Keep the comments going. I've got plenty of energy to respond to you all. I'm enjoying this live. We're 31 minutes and 9 seconds into this, and it's going very, very well. And we're here to talk about anything. Your favorite TV shows, your favorite films, your favorite animation. Obviously, predominantly, we talk DC Universe, but it doesn't mean we can't talk about other pieces of entertainment. I'm a bit obsessed with Titanic at the moment. When I get obsessed with a film, I just watch it all the time. Normally when I'm cooking my dinner. Ronnie Dodge, I can't wait to see Henry being comic book finished Superman. Yes, let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. But it's very important, Ronnie, to see who's going to direct this movie. So I'm very, very focused on that. John, did you enjoy Legends of Tomorrow? I did originally, yeah. Then they changed the cast up a bit. It was all right at first, and that's when I was all in on Arrowverse at the beginning of Legends. And then a few years down the line, I got fed up of Arrow with Felicity, and I started getting bored, and I got bored of The Flash, which is a shame, but they ruined it for themselves. The Flash is, I mean, for The Flash to be what? Having its 9th and final season, that's ridiculous. That show should have been canned years ago. Longevity doesn't mean success. Ronnie Dodge, the fact that he's left Witcher tells me he's very hands-on for this new Superman movie. Yeah, I mean, that was a surprise. I mean, I think there were some other things going on there, but yeah, obviously he can't do everything. And he was always going to choose Superman over The Witcher. A few butthurt blue ticks saying, why would you choose Superman over The Witcher? You really don't get it, do you, sweetie? Super, I can't wait for Batman Caped Crusader. Yes, we haven't heard very much about that, though, have we? MSGT, I see whatever Superman is in the next movie as the natural progression that began with MOS. People who hated MOS will insist that this is a different Superman. Well, I don't hate MOS, but I do have a feeling and a theory this could be a different Superman. I certainly don't hate MOS, but I can understand why some pure Superman fans may not be a fan of the movie. Putting Superman in the real world maybe not be the best of ideas, but I do like the Snyderverse. I do. Don't misunderstand me. But as Superman is looking pretty different. Ronnie Dodge, I saw some fans kicking off about Henry dumping Witcher for Superman. Henry loves Supes more. Listen, Henry Cavill has made his position abundantly clear. And I mean, we can all shit on people on the internet and be angry. It won't make a difference. Henry Cavill doesn't give a shit. MSGT, haha, my wife's text on Saturday. Cavill left Witcher to be your stupid Superman. Ha. She loves The Witcher. Yeah, sorry, MSGT's wife. I mean, I know all you women really, really fancy and are in love with Henry Cavill, and he does look good in that show. But you can just watch Superman, right? Why not? Stupid Superman. Divorce her. Divorce her. That's super. I hope Zaslav does not cancel it. It could be the BTAS of 2020s. Cancel what? Cancel what? Cancel what, Bat Super? I don't understand. Ronnie George, I've noticed Henry has grown hair more. Yes, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Don't know what's going on. That could be for Highlander, though, because he's doing Highlander, isn't he? And in the Connor McLeod movies, he does have longer hair. MSGT, Caped Crusader. John, what are your thoughts on the movie Phone Booth? Oh, I fucking love that movie. I think it's Colin Farrell's best performance. And I'm not really enamored with a lot of his movie choices, but that we got fucking Colin Farrell acting his arse off, and then we got Kiefer Sutherland giving the best voice performance ever. I fucking love that movie. Another guilty pleasure of mine. Ronnie Dodger, I mean, it looks like he's had a hair transplant. Looks like his hair was receding in BVS. Yeah, I mean, Wayne Rooney did a similar thing, didn't he? Yeah. I mean, what's great about being a millionaire superstar, you can do whatever you want to yourself. I mean, it looks good. It looks natural. So, but of course, he can afford to do these things properly. I mean, my hair's, I can't, when I grow my hair's gone in the front. So I'm just going to stay like this. None of that hair transplant, no more hair dye. No. Bald for life, I think. Baz Super, I hope Zaslav does not cancel Batman Cape Crusader. This show could be the BTS of the new generation. Yeah, I mean, listen, I haven't heard much about it. And it's interesting that J.J. Abrams was going to be involved in that, and he's not exactly in Zaslav's good books, so it's an interesting situation. Ronnie Dodgen, the other day, he had the cold down his head on an interview. The other day, I was like, yeah, he's back. Yes, it'd be interesting if the Superman movie is his next movie, because he's fully booked, that guy. So it's going to be interesting if they push stuff back for Superman. I mean, I'm very excited for the Highlander movie. I think that's going to be excellent. And you got the Jod, you know, you got the great director. What's his name? I forgot his name now. Zelensky, not Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, but the guy who does John Wick, Chad Zelensky. That's it. Ronnie George, he has a cameo in The Flash, what I believe. Yeah. If everything that's being said is true, that wouldn't surprise me if they're going to shove him in all these movies now. It's certainly an interesting situation. Hopefully we find out a little bit more. Obviously, they don't tell you about cameos, but they can certainly kind of tell us what they're thinking of going forward. Roller, I would be excited for the Batman animation, but J.J. Abrams is on it. Well, I used to be a huge J.J. Abrams fan in The Lost Day and Fringe and Alias. And I mean, he was a very clever man. And I also like Star Trek 2009. But unfortunately, his reputation isn't there anymore. But anyone can be redeemed in this world. And I'm sure all it takes is one project. I did a video today talking about the potential of him writing and directing the next Superman movie, which is a possibility. He was producing the Black Tanahashi Coates Superman movie, which I don't think is going to happen. Ronnie Judge Grace should get blacklisted from DC Studios. She hates Henry Cavill and James Gunn, so we know she will rot in DC movies. I really don't know why people take her seriously, or even listen to a word of what she says. The woman's just a crank. I mean, I don't know why anyone. I mean, she's finished. She's finished. It's over. She doesn't have any contacts at DC. She doesn't know what's going on. The other day when he did his video announcing he was back as Superman, she said he's just thanking fans. I mean, the woman's deluded. I laugh at her utter BS. We all do. She's just like the mad aunt at parties that nobody talks to. She's just, John, I was watching the movie Twister the other day. Old Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. What a couple of actors they are, or were. I mean, Bill's not with us anymore, is he? But she's a crank Batsuit. But what if they rework Tanahashi Coates' script for Cavill? They may do that. I hope they don't. Listen, I don't want that. I don't want that. Tanahashi Coates isn't what I want right in this movie. And I think Henry, I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't want that to happen. That was under the other leadership. And I don't think they're going to recycle stuff. What if they rework Tanahashi Coates' script for Cavill? Isaac Cruz, Mick, you need to invest in a better camera. Well, no, I'm not going to invest in another camera. It's an HD camera. It's a cheap HD camera. And I'm certainly not making anything out of this to start wasting money on another camera. It's evening. The light's bright. I know maybe it kind of goes weird when I move. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm not making any money off of this to get a better camera. It's a good camera. It's okay. It's solid. As long as you can see me and hear me, that's the main thing, isn't it? We're not on TV. Ronnie Dodge, Universal are making a sequel to Twister, maybe. They get Helen Hunt back, but I have a bad feeling about it. Yeah, who asked them for a fucking Twister sequel? These people are so inept. I mean, that is desperate. No wonder Universal are not making any money. A sequel to Twister. That's insane. That's fucking mad, isn't it? I mean, what idiot thought that? Ronnie George, I mean, who makes 10 bloody Fast and the Furious movies? Universal do. Well, at least that's kind of a franchise that's doing something, but a Twister sequel, why? Bill Paxton is dead. Helen Hunt doesn't look like Helen Hunt anymore. You just don't see the point. You've done it. It worked in the early 90s or the early thousands or wherever it was. It ain't going to work now. Who's going to watch that? Who's going to watch that? Now, if James Cameron made that film and made it into a Titanic-y kind of like tragedy thing, I'd be interested. But that's not going to happen. Bad Super, we need a movie where Jessica Chastain plays Grace Randolph. No thanks. I don't want to. Why would anyone want to? It's amazing how many nerds make Grace Randolph relevant, man. It's amazing to me. You will listen to her, you respond to her. I don't get it. I really don't. Ronnie Dodge, apparently the Top Gun Maverick director was attached to it, but pulled out. I'm not surprised at you. I don't believe anyone would seriously be attached to it. Why would he have been attached to it? Tom Cruise probably told him not to do it. But he should have known himself not to do it. Why would you green light a Twister sequel? Why? What drugs could you have been on that given day to actually green light a Twister sequel? But this is where we are today, isn't it? It's nuts. It's insane. I mean, we had some shit sequels in my day. Don't get me wrong. It's not like things were perfect. MSGT, did Hamada have something to do with it? Did Hamada have something to do with what? Ronnie Dodge, Joseph Kosinski should do the Superman movie. He's second on my director's list. Probably going to be busy. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. If he's even going to get a looking. Ronnie Dodge. Oh no, I've read that. Bat Super. Grace Randolph hates Jessica Chastain. So it would be hilarious to see Chastain play Grace Randolph. It would also kind of make her relevant, and she isn't. John, I hope they don't do a remake of Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox said if they do, it should be a girl playing Marty McFly. Martine McFly. Oh dear. MSGT, greenlighting something as dumb as a Twister sequel. Yep. This is where we are today. I mean, you would think the people working in the industry actually knew what they were doing, but you shouldn't make assumptions like that. Ronnie Dodge, Universal, don't even think about it. It's insane. It is insane. I mean, Universal won't even make a Hulk movie, and they fucking own the rights because Marvel are paying them so much money. I don't think my camera's that bad. It's all right for what I paid for it. Ronnie Dodge, I'm happy we won the game last night, Mick. So am I. West Ham are a really good team. And some people are acting like we struggled against a bad team. But West Ham are good. Ronnie Dodge, I think your camera is good, mate. Thank you. It's all right. Look, it's not the best camera, but I ain't going to spend 500 fucking quid on a camera when I'm barely getting any views and I'm not making any money out of it. That would be dumb, wouldn't it? MSGT talking about the Denver game. Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I know nothing about American sports. I'm English, I'm British. I know about football in the UK. I support Manchester United. They played in England. No idea. I'm sorry. You've totally lost me. Ronnie, we literally have the best CB in Martinez. Did you see Graham Souness being sad at Liverpool are sinking like the Titanic? Oh, that idiot. He's obviously been told to say the shit that he says just to get people to listen. MSGT, no biggie. Yeah, listen, I'm British. I know all about British sport. Obviously, not everything, but I'm a soccer fan and I support Manchester United. But I know when people start talking about American sports, it's like you may as well be talking to me in Kryptonian. There's baseball, there's American football, and I don't get any of it. MSGT, I wish America had a bigger soccer crowd. Started rooting for Arsenal while I lived in Harrow. I think like the Premier League is more popular now in America than it used to be. I certainly think there's an audience there. Ronnie George, even Pep said we're coming back. I'm like, I see you're playing mind games, mate, but yeah, we're coming. Oh, yeah, false compliments. I mean, he thrashed us 5-0 or something, right? So, yeah. Look, we're a work in progress until he's had a couple of years and brought in his players. He needs a team full of players that he's bought. There's a lot of players he's inherited that can't play in his system, and they'll have to be replaced. But that's going to take time. Ronnie Dodge, he beat us 6-3 exactly. We got a right fucking smacked ass, didn't we? So, but these things are going to happen. It's a rebuild, but the man is doing a very, very good job. A very challenging job when you're dealing with players like Ronaldo, who think it's offensive to be asked to come on in the last couple of minutes. Ronnie Dodge, Martial is back in training. How long till he's injured again, lol? Yeah, we need a striker as soon as possible. What a shame. Really good player, great lad. John, do you celebrate Halloween where you are? They don't celebrate it here. Because I was born and bred in England, I know all about Halloween. They used to do the whole trick or treat, obviously. But here, no one bothers me. I won't be bothered by any trick-or-treaters. They just don't celebrate it here. It's a bit weird, but they don't. They don't even do like bonfire night here. But we obviously Christmas. They celebrate it, but it's not as cool as it is in the UK and in America. There was some like blue tick on Twitter complaining, people saying Happy Christmas instead of Happy Holidays. Mate, up yours. Yeah, well, we've got different religions. Well, I don't celebrate Christmas because I'm being religious. I like the lights, the music, the movies. That's why I love Christmas and the good feeling, the goodwill towards my fellow human beings. So I'm not going to say happy holidays. I'm saying happy Xmas, like it or not. Ronnie Dodge, I live in a flat, so no one buzzes a flat for Halloween, which is good. I mean, it's a pain in the arse. I think it's a pain in the arse. But the kids, they love it. And if they love it and enjoy it, why not? I mean, as a kid, I never trick-or-treated. My parents didn't they didn't want us going out trick-or-treating. They were very overprotective, our parents. So we were at home a lot until we were quite older, like teenagers. So I led a bit of a sheltered life. But at least I'm still alive, right? But Christmas is my thing. Christmas is the time of year I love the most. So I have my lights up there for months. Not months, since October, or maybe a little bit before October. Don't tell anyone. I love my Christmas movies. I like Christmas with the Cranks. I think that's a crazy film. After Christmas, Scrooged with Bill Murray. Ronnie Dodge, I'm interested where James goes with Gal's Wonder Woman. That's the $1,000,000 question. You've got Jenkins bragging that she's been asked to make loads of Wonder Woman movies, which I don't believe, by the way. I think that must have been Toby Emmerich and Hamada. I don't think she's going to do Wonder Woman 3, but again, I could be wrong. Let's see what happens. I'm saying that because I don't want her to do Wonder Woman 3, so there's a lot of bias there. I will admit that. She made an absolute mess of Wonder Woman 84, and I don't think she should be making any more. John, Christmas Vacation is my favourite Christmas movie. It's a good one. It's not one of that's up there for me. I mean, I love Arthur Christmas. I love Scrooged. I like The Polar Express. Ronnie Dodge, she's got to speak to James first before she makes that movie and fix the mistakes she's made. Well, listen, I think that's a Zaslav decision, personally. Gabriel's in on us. My nephew. Hello, Gabriel. How are you tonight? You're live on Movies TV Mad. How are you doing, boy? You all right? My phone's off, Gabriel. I can't charge my phone anymore, so I switched it off to save the battery. It's very hard to charge it. Come on, everyone. Keep commenting. Keep the show going. You make the show. I'm just here to anchor it. I basically build off of you. But it's certainly exciting to be a DC fan right now, isn't it? And I don't think we've been in this position ever where we're getting this unified universe and we've got Gunn and Safran and we've got someone like Zaslav being really passive aggressive and saying, you know, I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. And all the people getting upset with him. John, what happened with your phone? It won't charge. I mean, for it to charge, you'll have to hold it in like that. It's like the port's like enlarged, and it's a pain. So, and if I chuck it on the bed, it might start charging. It's that insane. So I'm keeping it off right now. So I'm using Twitter on my laptop at the moment, and it's very different for me because it's a very different experience. It's very frustrating. I've tried cleaning out the port. It doesn't seem to be that. I used the needle. It didn't seem to have anything in there. MSGT, you may have lint packed into the pole. What's that, my friend? Explain. I mean, I have put a needle in there to try and get stuff out. But if you explain that, and I should really take it to get fixed. I mean, I really like that phone. I mean, it's a Moto. It's a Moto G7. And it's not like a snazzy modern phone, but I like it. MSGT, pocket lint. If you used the needle, you would have pulled it out. Oh, right. So it's not that then. SBA, favourite DC animated film? Ooh, I think I like Superman Doomsday. Not the one they did recently. The one they did when James Masters played Lex Luthor. That one. Not the one that was in 2 parts. That's quite good. They used to do... There was a few. Look, there's quite a few. That one's a good one. Christina's in on us. My niece. Hello, Christina. How are you doing? You're watching your uncle making a fool of himself. SBA, that movie had a great score. Oh my God, yeah. I'm glad someone else said it. That was a good. And by the way, talking about the John Williams theme, that was a good Superman theme. So you can create new themes for Superman. Christina's in on us. Ashley is your little sister. Hello, Sophie. How are you? And halfway was Christina. Why are you using Christina's phone? Use your own phone. Christina's in on us. Hello. Is that you, Christina, now? I'm confused. But yeah, I do love that. Christina's in on us. It's my phone. I know. Oh, right, okay. John, what did you think of the Killing Joke animated movie? I watched it once and yeah, didn't like it. Yeah, didn't like it. I don't think many people liked it, John, to be honest. It didn't really make an impression on me. I mean, a lot of these animated movies are pretty made, and they have been pretty made recently. The Injustice one. I mean, if you're going to do Injustice, do it properly, man. It's a great story. Gabriel's in on us. How was Black Adam? Awesome. I really like Black Adam. Haven't you gone to see it yet, Gabriel? Really enjoyed Black Adam. And Superman was in the post-credit scene. Go and see it. Gabriel's in on us. No, soon. Good. Go see it. Rolo, who's your favourite DC writer? Oh, you mean what? Comic book writer? I mean, I don't read the comics that much. My knowledge of the comics isn't great, to be honest. But I mean, I still like Jeff Johns personally. MSGT, what were your thoughts on Superman Returns? Critics liked it, but many Superman fans did not. It seems that a lot of Superman fans haven't liked Superman on screen since Superman 2. That's a good point. Gabriel's in on us. Bye, boy. Love you. Right. I'm glad, MSGT, you've asked me this question, because guess what I did yesterday? I watched Superman Returns. You don't understand. When that film was being marketed, when that film was being advertised, look, as a kid, always excited when Superman 4 was coming out. The marketing, so excited. I love Superman. I was so excited we were getting a Superman film after 19, 20 years. The trailers looked amazing. I really like Superman Returns. Unfortunately, probably could have done with another 3 to 6 months in post-production. Like the VFX on Superman flying in the end doesn't look good. They did a really close-up on his CG, double. But there's also, most of the VFX on that film is stunning. And when he's lifting up New Krypton, I really like Superman Returns. And I was watching it yesterday and I thought, wow, this is actually a joyful Superman. This is the Superman I grew up with. Brandon Routh is great. Kevin Spacey is great. The music by John Ottman is off the fucking scale. Yes, I really, really do love Superman Returns. What do you all think of Superman Returns? I think it's a great movie. I think it's solid. And I think any problems with the first film could have been fixed in Superman Man of Steel, which is what the sequel was going to be. It was going to introduce Brainiac. Superman was going to mistake his son for Brainiac and kill his son Jason by accident. This was going to be a Wrath of Khan movie. I'm so disappointed they didn't continue Superman Returns, but I've got a lot of time for that movie. SBA, favourite Batman sidekicks? Oh, wow, I think it's obvious, isn't it? It's Dick Grayson for me. But that's only because I watched the 60s campy show and loved him in that. John, the marketing for Superman Returns was great. Oh, my God. John, it was so exciting. Smallville was active on TV. It was peak for me, my Superman fandom. And I went there. I watched it 5 or 6 times in the cinema. I really did enjoy that film, and I still do. Yes, it has flaws. Of course it has flaws, right? The costume makes Brandon look shorter and smaller than he is. And I think someone said that on the retrospective today. But all in all, it's actually a good movie. Now, think about this. Right, think about this. You get that moment when he's kind of listening to Lois and Richard talking, and she says that she didn't love him. You see him flying to the sky. You see his eyes welling up. He's flowing in the sky. He can hear Jor-El's voice. He can hear all these people crying for help. And then he goes into action. You get the bullet in the eye. That's some of the best comic book accurate Superman shit we have ever seen. MSGTF was Superman Return was fine, but I'm not really a hardcore fan of these characters. I don't really need certain boxes ticked off, so I'm more forgiving. Well, listen, it's not about ticking boxes or anything, but you want to see, look, if Superman's not going to be Superman, if Superman's going to be Batman in a cape and from Krypton, there's no point. So I don't need boxes ticking, my friend, but what I do need is to see Superman. And I don't want Superman saying, people don't stay good in this world. I don't need to see Superman breaking people's necks because that isn't Superman. And Superman Returns, at the very least, that's my hero. And those sequences I just explained are phenomenal. And it's great. Lex Luthor stabbing Superman with the kryptonite. compelling. Look, a lot of that movie is really good, and it's got some hardcore Superman goodness in it, and it deserved the sequel just because it could have fixed the problems, and they could have given him a better suit in the sequel as well. So obviously I am a Superman fan, and this stuff does mean a lot to me. And we haven't, but unfortunately, no Superman movie has come close to Superman the movie. The ghost of that movie is still there, and people can deny it, and people can say to me, and I love the Snyderverse, and people can say to me, but look at Snyder's visuals. Well, Richard Donner didn't have CGI technology or Phoenix cameras, right? He was in the 70s, and he made an amazing movie, inventing technology to make Superman look great. And I still think Donner's Superman flying, is still the best Superman flying I have seen. And in fact, in the Snyderverse, I don't think Superman flies enough. Batman v Superman. SBA, Batman v Superman. MSGT, well, you clearly don't need boxes ticked off like me. You liked Reeve, Ralph, and Cavill. I even really liked how Smallville portrayed a more realistic Clark Kent, which is why I really like MOS. Well, actually, I think the Clark Kent in Smallville is very accurate to how Superman is in the comics. He's very positive. He's pure. He's not a dark character. Yes, he goes bad sometimes for an episode with Red K. We saw him react badly to the death of Jimmy Olsen when we got into season 9. But mostly, he's the inspirational Clark Kent from the comics. And Smallville were very faithful. Yes, they made changes, but I think the Snyderverse is one thing and Smallville's another one. But I like all the actors who have played Superman. But I could also admit that the films just haven't done it. They have never, ever got to what Richard Donner did. Never. Because Richard Donner didn't believe in messing with what worked. And that's why that film works and made people happy. It's about making everyone happy, not certain people. And I think this is where we are now. SBA Metallo should have been the secondary villain in BVS. I think we should have had a Man of Steel direct sequel. Metallo should have been the villain there. I still hope they do that with this upcoming movie. We got to stop with these alien invasions. We just need a domestic villain that we can relate to. And Metallo, John Corbin, is very, very relatable. Manchester Black and the Elite are very, very relatable. There's so many different directions we can go in if we get someone who actually understands the source material. And I think it's going to be interesting who writes this movie, who directs this movie. And I'll be able to tell as soon as I find out who's doing this if we've got a problem or we should be looking forward to this. Because there's been too many people like Bryan Singer. He's not into comic books, right? He did well with X-Men, but he doesn't get comic books. The only reason he did Superman is because he was obsessed with Richard Donner's movie. Zack Snyder understands the comics a lot more than Bryan Singer does. But again, he's more into the Watchmen type of thing. And he brought that to Superman. And that obviously was an issue to some people as well. But I love Metallo. He would be, I've got a great idea for Metallo. But yeah, and I will put the Elite and Manchester Black in my movie. The Elite and Manchester Black and Metallo would all be in my Superman movie. Because I think with Manchester Black's obsession with villains being killed, I think it's a great place to pressure Superman into killing Metallo. Now, in my story, John Corbin and Clark were once friends. So when he becomes Metallo, it complicates the issue. And again, you've got a human story there. And people can be invested. And I think people misunderstand Superman. He doesn't have to be a suit full of fuck all, no personality. It doesn't have to be, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It can be interesting. And I don't think Christopher Reeve put his personality into Superman. And I don't feel Cavill was given the opportunity because Cavill's got a great character and personality. We've seen it in reality. But he wasn't allowed to inject that into that role. I mean, him and Amy used to have a great laugh on the BTS, but we didn't see that banter. And Superman and Lois should have a lot. Clark and Lois should be having banter in the Daily Planet. And that's who Superman is. John, is Doom Patrol ending? I don't know for sure, but I think it probably will, yeah. And, there was talk of my camera being shit. Before, I wasn't even using a secondary camera. I was using the one built into this laptop, and it used to be in fucking black and white. Do you remember at night time? Do you remember that when it was in black and white? So, yeah, this is luxury compared to that. MSGT, the problem with Metallo in BVS was that Snyder had to create a reason for Justice League. Superman had to die to give Darkseid a reason. That's the result of WB panicking and pushing. Well, here's the thing. Once WB changed what was going on, Zack didn't have to go with the Darkseid plan. He didn't have to do that. He could have adapted to something else. So, but the point is, BVS isn't a place for, I don't think it's the place for Metallo anyway. A Man of Steel sequel is the perfect place for Metallo. I mean, there shouldn't have even been a Batman versus Superman. I really like that movie as an individual movie, but it shouldn't have been the next movie. Suicide Squad shouldn't have been the movie after that. John Falls on X-Men The Last Stand. I really like X-Men The Last Stand. I don't think it's the crap that everyone says it is. I think the Jean Grey stuff was beautifully written and performed by the actress. I thought it was very compelling, especially when she kills Professor X. I liked that film. I thought it was telling a story. It did it okay. Obviously, Singer would have done a better job. And I think from that moment, the X-Men franchise died once Bryan Singer left, because the first two X-Men are two of the best comic book movies ever made. And as I say, this is a guy who turns up on set late. This is the guy who's always stoned. But whatever he was doing, he did two fucking great movies. So that's amazing. I think he had a bit more work ethic when he first came from like The Usual Suspects, which was an indie movie. He was glad to be there. And I think somewhere along the way, the guy got really, really lost, which is a shame. Because he's a very good director for sure. But you've got to get him in the mood. And obviously, there's the other accusations against him as well, which is disappointing. Same with Kevin Spacey, one of the finest actors I've seen. But if the accusations are true, me and you are over, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things that famous people do, I can kind of say, I don't care. But obviously, when it comes to kids and things like that, you can't look past that. It's like Ezra Miller being accused of grooming. Now, there's no proof there. It could all be false allegations, but these things do have to be taken seriously. Because we're talking about kids here, aren't we? And, you get these child actors in Hollywood and they're abused. And, you see them on screen and you think they're looking after them. Look at what happened to Macaulay Culkin. Very sad. I think he was abusing, I don't want to be sued, but I think he was definitely he was on something from a very young age. And, once you're involved with Hollywood, it is a horrible place. It's great to do the work, but you have to have your wits about you. I don't think it's a place for kids. They're not as nice as they make out in their BTS, these people. That's for sure. And on Twitter. Be kind, be kind. Yeah, you first. You be kind first, eh? Don't worry about us. We're already kind. It's you lot who are not fucking kind. Here's a classic story about Hollywood. Burt Reynolds was on top of his game, so they started spreading rumors that he had AIDS and he was gay. Now, back then, you wouldn't work if they heard you were gay or had AIDS. And this is what Hollywood is. SBA, do you think Batfleck will ever get a solo movie? That is an impossible question to answer, my friend. It really is. I would absolutely. I've read his script. It's a phenomenal script. I think we all deserve that kind of a movie. Whether we get it or not is unlikely, but I hope we do. John, they never use Cyclops right in the movies. I think compared to the comics, I think you're right. But I do think he was a good Cyclops. I love James Marsden. Something else I love about Superman Returns. I thought Richard White was great as well. Originally, Hugh Laurie was going to be Perry White in Superman Returns, because basically Bryan Singer was very heavily involved with House, and he even directed the pilot episode. But because of House's schedule, they had to use someone else. But I think Hugh Laurie would have been a much better Perry White, especially if he was all Gregory House kind of in it, and a bit of an arsehole. MSGT, I would bet favourably on Batfleck getting his solo movie. He was all about shooting scenes to replace Keaton in Aquaman 2. I don't think he's actually replacing Keaton, not from what Jason Momoa's saying. And I don't think his role's that huge in the movie either. But I think Keaton is still in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So I think people got a bit carried away when they heard that news, but I'm not sure how big Affleck's role is in the movie. And I think Keaton's still involved. Even Momoa hinting at that. But who knows? Who knows what the fuck's going on? One thing's for sure, James Gunn and Peter Safran have got a lot of hard work to do, haven't they? To fix the shit that was created from day one. From day one. Whether you like Snyder or don't like Snyder, the decisions made from day one weren't going to lead to a successful franchise. I can say I love the Snyderverse, that I love most of the movies, but as a franchise, the thing doesn't work. It simply does not work. SBA. Keaton should be Bruce in a Batman Beyond movie. Are they thinking of that? Who knows? I mean, at this point, I don't think they're thinking of that. But let's see. I mean, personally, I'd rather Michael Keaton and Tim Burton get together for a Batman 3. That's what I'd really like to see, rather than the Batman Beyond stuff. Although Burton could make a Batman Beyond movie, which would be cool. MSGT, but we know Aquaman was moved to come after Flash now. So why bother with Affleck if he was originally done in The Flash? Well, by that time, they may have decided to keep on using him. And don't forget, at the end of The Flash, he's trapped in the Elseworld. And he's basically on a screen to Barry. He could be on another screen in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom doing the same thing, but this time warning Arthur and asking for Arthur's help. So it could be a thing going through all the movies. So that kind of makes sense. So because we don't know very much MSGT, we shouldn't really make, assumptions, because then you'll feel let down if what you want to happen doesn't happen. John, I think Ben Affleck will be just Bruce Wayne in Aquaman 2, but I could be wrong. SLCA, what do you think of DC Lobo? Do you think he deserves a movie? I think Lobo's a great character. They used him, didn't they, in Krypton for a little bit. Yes, he's a great character, very interesting character. But again, you have to do it properly, and you have to get the right actor with the personality. That role needs a lot of swagger. It's very, in a way, is a little bit like Harrison Ford was in Indiana Jones and Han Solo. You need that personality. You need that inner arrogance. So again, you've got to choose the right people. I mean, this is why Chris Pratt works as Star-Lord so well. There's that inner arrogance that really works. So all these things, now we've got DC studios like Lobo, there's nothing they can't do. They have the platform to do anything they want. They're going to want 4 or 5 movies a year. They're going to want HBO Max shows. It's all there. SBA, Jason Momoa looks like Lobo. Yes, it would have been fun, but they gave him Aquaman, obviously, and he's great as Aquaman. John, they might not even keep the same Flash ending. I don't think they will. Look, this is what I'm saying. It's all changed. They did extensive reshoots in the summer. We know that. Now, we don't know if they were, what they entailed, but they're changing. They're definitely changed that film, not dramatically. I think the film is still the film, but you can't change that film. That's why you can't cut Miller from it. He's in every freaking scene. I mean, if people like him in the movie, his performance could win people who are offended by his actions, and that might make them keep him. I don't know at this point. I really don't. Or maybe the decision's already been made to bin him. It's like Amber Heard. We simply don't know. The Amber Heard situation is interesting as well. She's still there. Basically, the Hamada stuff, as I keep on saying, could change at any time. And Hamada's gone, and just because his movies are going to be released, it doesn't mean they don't make little changes to those movies. So this is what I keep on saying, don't make assumptions. People are talking about the Blue Beetle test screening. Something tells me that's going to be a very different movie by the time we see it. Ronnie Dodge, I still don't know if it's a food idea of James being on Twitter, as certain fans will attack him. If anything they don't like. Oh, you mean good? Listen, it's like me. You saw me yesterday being attacked and I ignored it. And the bigger the channel gets, the more I get attacked. You've got to be thick-skinned, Ronnie. And these are people who have been in the industry since they were young boys and young girls. And so they can take it. James Gunn can handle anything. You know, he's big enough and ugly enough to be able to handle it. So, I mean, I don't know how long he's going to stay on there for. I mean, it's good to have him on there. I mean, sometimes sometimes he annoys me. You know, the other day was going on about Marvel and DC not being rivals. That's bullshit, James. I like James. I think he's a talented man. But sometimes I find the man a bit condescending. Now, before he was sacked from Disney, he was a lot worse. He's calmed down a lot. And I think he became a lot more humble after that incident. But I do like James. I think he's a very interesting human being. Not just as a director, but yeah. So I like the guy. But yeah, people are always going to say things sometimes we don't like. That is part of life. MSGT, I'm thinking Blue Beetle may just be a one-off. DC can get away with that. Maybe, but there's a lot to do. There's a franchise there to do if they get it right. Blue Beetle is important to a lot of people. Ronnie Dodge, Peter Safran did say recently he doesn't listen to fans' pressure, and I love that. Well, listen, you got to be careful when you talk about these things, because coming out and saying, oh, I don't listen to fans, I don't listen to fans, isn't the best look. Now, you can't always give the fans what they want. I understand that, and that's cool. But you should never act like you don't respect the fans. And this is the thing. This is what's happening in this industry today. They're blatantly showing us they don't like us. And I never used to like my customers when I worked in the co-op behind the deli counter. But I couldn't tell them to F off. And that's the game. We are in the retail business, in the entertainment industry. Like it or not. Pretend you like your customers. Pretend you're listening, even if you're not. It's not rocket science. John, I think James Gunn has got a 4-year DC contract. Yeah, but I wouldn't be too literal with that. If it goes well, he stays and stays and stays. And, I wouldn't worry about it being 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. Don't worry about it. That's a long. 4-year contract is a long contract in this business. It means he's there for the foreseeable. Ronnie Dodge, sorry, that quote from last year. Okay. To be fair, he wasn't in a position to be listening to anyone. He had no authority. His production company were just making DC movies. But it's important to listen, because if you don't listen to people, you don't make money. It's not about bending the knee. It's not about just doing what you want. You're not making home videos for your own personal enjoyment. This is a consumer industry. And if the consumer don't consume your shit, then you ain't going to make any money. And they may be arrogant enough in this industry to think, they'll swallow whatever shit we put in their mouths. But we won't. The consumers become more smarter now. It's a new world. I mean, today's consumer is a lot smarter than my generation was when we were watching shit, because we didn't have a place to, bitch about. But now if we bitch about something on the internet, it can hurt their product. All we had was points of view back in the 80s. So there's a big difference today. There are avenues through social media to let them know if you like something or you don't like something. And they are listening, even if they don't react well to it. They understand. Ronnie Dodge, I definitely think we will get more unknown DC characters. I'm excited about that. Yeah, listen, look, there's so many DC characters. They've got to get the house in order first. They've got to re-enter the main ones. But, as I say, they want 4 or 5 movies a year. They want to fill out HBO Max with TV shows, right? So there's a lot to do. You decide what's going to be a movie. You decide what's going to be a streaming show. And it's exciting. It's exciting for DC fans who haven't had the characters that they support. in live action before. I mean, Plastic Man, they were going to do that. I think Plastic Man is great, especially in Batman, The Brave and the Bold, the animated series. He's a fun character. And yes, sorry, certain people out there, we can have fun films and TV shows as well as the dark ones. It doesn't all have to be one way or the other. Ronnie Dodger, I hope Sasha's Kara stays around after the Flash. Well, that was Hamada and Machete's baby, so I don't know what's going to happen with her. I really don't know. That's going to be interesting, what they do about her. They may change that up a bit. I don't know. John, did you see the Spider-Man Lotus trailer? No. I'm assuming Spider-Man Lotus is a game or a fan movie, but no. I've heard about it, but I don't know about it. There's so much DC stuff at the moment, I'm not focusing on anything else. It literally, for me, is all about DC right now. It's the most exciting place to be. The fandom's amazing. The developments with Cavill and Gunn and Safran and the future and the slate we're going to get shortly and the title of the Superman movie we're going to get soon and the writer and the director or writers and director. You know, we've got so much good shit to come from DC. So, yeah, not focused on Marvel at all. I know Wakanda Forever is released. Is it this week? Is it this week coming? But I expect that film to do really well in the box office, but the reactions have been mixed. So the full reviews will be very, very interesting. Ronnie Dodge, next week, Wakanda Forever. Yep. So very exciting, very exciting. I mean, look, Black Adam's done now, isn't it? It's going to make its money, but yeah. I mean, The Rock's already saying, you know, Black Adam's not well known and it's made good money for the kind of movie it is. So he's trying to convince the studio, look, oh yeah, it's done okay. Ronnie Dodge, I feel Phase 4 has been a mixed bag apart from No Way Home. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been great. It's been very divisive. Look, when you see something like She-Hulk blatantly attacking men with feminist propaganda and extreme left propaganda, you know it's time to go. I mean, I've only heard about it. I didn't watch it. I don't need to consume something that hates my gender. You know, there's no point. You hate me. You don't want me to watch this. Why should I watch it? Why should I consume this? So, yeah, I mean, I think Phase 4, I like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I thought that was solid. So, that and Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought Shang-Chi was solid. Unfortunately, the actor got carried away with himself. So, he was a bit off-putting. But it was an okay movie. But, yeah, the rest of it hasn't been great. And hopefully they understand that, I mean, they haven't done well this year at all. I mean, to think that superhero movies are not the top earners this year, and Top Gun Maverick and Rise of Gru have been the big hitters of this year. And of course, everything, everywhere, everything, all at once was a massive hit. Obviously, not as much money as the Marvel movies make, but it hasn't been Marvel's year, and that's for sure. Ronnie Dodge, Shang-Chi, I actually liked that movie. Yeah, I thought it was okay. It was solid. I mean, like Black Adam, it's not the greatest thing ever, but it was certainly entertaining. I think they could have gone deeper and darker with the father. I think they didn't go far enough there. But yeah, it was okay. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. LSLCA, James Gunn just posted a picture on Twitter, and that's DC Deadman. So what does that actually mean then? Who's DC Deadman? I don't know who that is. I genuinely don't know who that is. Yeah, he's trolling us. He's trolling us. He's doing it on purpose. He's doing it on purpose because something's about to be announced. Tell me about Deadman then. Come on. Tell me about Deadman, so when I leave this live and go on Twitter, I can look like I know what I'm talking about when I quote tweet him. Tell me all about, someone needs to tell me about Deadman now. John, just hope Ant-Man 3 does well. It's not really something, yeah. Obviously, I hope it does well for you, John, but it's not something I'm interested in. Running Dodge, apparently there was a second post-credit scene for Black Adam. Just reading, apparently was teasing about Dr. Fate return. Interesting. MSG, I think he possesses people in order to be physical in the world. Now, I'm just excited hearing about this because interesting. But these are the kind of characters that Gunn's interested in. But yeah, this is very exciting to have James. This is why it's exciting having James Gunn involved. MSGT, so he can assume their powers as needed. Wow. SBA, the ghost guy from Brave and the Bold. Oh, really? I liked him. Oh, is that Gentleman Ghost? Is that who you're talking about? Ronnie George, Kent isn't dead. He probably tricks back. Yeah, he isn't dead. I mean, Pierce Brosnan's pretty much said it already. He's actually said everything isn't what it seems. I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around. But of course, all this stuff, it depends on the box office. It depends how Zaslav feels about the box office. MSGT, the Gentleman Ghost guy was different. All right, okay. I love that episode, though. And the Red Tornado episode. They need to do Red Tornado at DC Studios. I love that guy. That episode in Batman, the Brave and the Bold. So sad and so poignant. So good. And basically, Supergirl did Red Tornado dirty, man. Ronnie Dodge, Dr. Fate made me laugh when he was eating when Hawkman and Tef was fighting in Amon's room. Like, I'm going to sit this one out. Yeah, that was hilarious, wasn't it? That was so James Bond, wasn't it? So that was James Bond sarcasm, wasn't it? And I loved it. This is Movies TV Mad. We're here live. SBA, the pale guy with the red suit that can possess people. Oh, right. Sounds like an interesting character anyway. Thank you for giving me the information. But these are the kind of characters you're going to get from James Gunn, the unknown ones. And they could be movies. They could be on HBO Max. That's exciting. I'm glad. And these are the things we get with James Gunn. And I mean, it's like a middle finger to Kevin Feige. The other day, Feige goes, "You're going to be too busy over at Marvel till May," and he's posting shit and trolling DC fans. So that's great. That's basically a middle. Even though he says he loves Feige to bits. Ronnie Dodge, I actually like the banter between Carter Hall and Al's Atom Smasher. Yeah. There was a lot of good banter in that movie, wasn't there? It was a good, solid movie, for sure. MSGT, that was some good foreshadowing when Adam and Hawkman were fighting in that room. They were punching and scrapping at JL character representations. Yeah. That was mad, wasn't it? Absolute madness. There was some really good stuff in that film. People are sleeping on that film, and that's a shame. But what I'll say about the box office, although it's not record-breaking, it's solid. That's what we're going to call it. He isn't a big character, Black Adam. The Rock had to promote the shit out of it even to get what we're getting from it. And in the end of the day, it's just slightly above, not Ant-Man, Shazam. Ronnie Dodge, when the posters was ruined, I was like, not the Superman poster of the Flash poster. Yeah. Watch that. Don't ruin those posters. Show some respect for the posters. Old Gunn, eh? He's really thrown a few hints. This is what I mean. They've been in talks for ages. This has been a thing for ages, this new leadership, clearly. So they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Ronnie Dodge, I love to put his fist through the door on the Superman logo. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? Oh, well. But Superman packs a punch too, Mr. Adam, and you're going to find that out the hard way. I think they should have like a wrestling match between Henry Cavill and The Rock for a laugh. It'll be great hype. It will be great hype. And they should do it at San Diego Comic Con. Ronnie Dodge, who would actually throw the first punch? Well, it has to be Black Adam because he's the aggressor, he's the villain. And I don't think Superman would ever throw the first punch. And once he throws the first punch, it's an excuse for Superman to throw the next punch. So that would be an almighty fight. Let's see if we ever see it. Tef Adam. Poor Shazam, will he ever get to fight Black Adam? Let's see. Ronnie Dodge, I like that Black Adam can punch, but Supes can punch even harder. Well, Superman has got, I mean, look, Black Adam and Superman have got, powers. They're strong. And I mean, listen, they're very equal. One person that Superman would have problems with is Zatanna because she's got magic. And magic is one of Superman's weaknesses. So actually, Zatanna could potentially kill Superman. MSGT, the problem for Superman is that Black Adam is magic. Yes, exactly. A lot of people are not mentioning that. Magic, as I say, is one of his weaknesses. You know where I found that out? Smallville. That's the first time I found out that Superman has that weakness. Ronnie Dodge and what's that? Atomium is a weakness to Black Adam. Yeah. So they've all got their weaknesses. So it levels things out, doesn't it? They've all got things that can fuck them over. I mean, I love kryptonite. I love the different colors and they do different things. I think silver kryptonite or black kryptonite can literally outkill Superman. Ronnie Dodge, the stuff that was powering the Intergang bikes and missiles. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. We didn't get enough of Intergang, though, did we? They're a huge force in the DC comic book universe. But that's cool. They introduced it. They introduced them. So it's the beginning. Because you could make the Intergang a huge threat all around in the DC universe. MSGT, I have to look up this Intergang. Yeah, more information about the Intergang, please. Ronnie Dodge, watching the movie again, was it aim on narrating the movie at the beginning? I think so. I think so. Not definite on that, but I think so. John, at the end of Black Adam, it seems like he is now a good guy. Yeah, he's an anti-hero. But obviously, that post-credit scene, he looked like he was cruising for a bruising, wasn't he? When he says to Waller, send them all. So he's still got that arrogance that I can be. I love it when the way The Rock does it. Send them all. Okay. Waller's ruthless, mate. I love Waller. Waller is a badass, mate. Literally, Bloodsport has got a knife to her throat and she's telling everyone, put your guns down. MSGT, he doesn't like being told what to do, and Waller called his city his prison. Yeah, well, Waller could fuck over Black Adam. Waller is a very clever lady. It's not all about fists. Ronnie Dodge, when he said send them all, I'm like, you're going to regret that. Yeah, imagine if they all turned up, the entire Justice League. I mean, he'd be fucked. MSGT, it's a challenge. SBA, in the Bruce Timm universe, the Intergang work alongside Darkseid. That's correct. Yeah, that is correct. So this is the thing. This is how you can, because originally Hamada was doing Final Crisis, right? And we know the New Gods are involved in Final Crisis. So you could involve the Intergang, and maybe that was the plan. Do you remember when Ava DuVernay was going to do New Gods, and I kept on telling you all it weren't going to happen, and no one believed me? I was right again. And there was the same guy keep on commenting on my videos. You're wrong. She's doing it. And I said, it will never fucking happen. And I knew it because we never heard anything. There wasn't a script. There was no one cast. It was the same as like this Green Lantern show that I knew would be cancelled. I always know the signals. I know the industry. Ronnie Dodge, that's the original background for the Intergang, and Dwayne changed it. Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean you can't connect them to Darkseid eventually. So he can change it there, but it can evolve, Ronnie. That's the beauty of this. You don't have to just because he changed it there, it doesn't mean they can't have some kind of involvement. Ronnie Dodge could mean that Ethereum came from Darkseid's planet. Exactly. Good spot. Exactly. I'm pretty sure they will still use Darkseid going forward. It may not be the way Zach was planning, but I think they'll definitely still use him. And they'll still use the voice actor because you can't get better than him. He was so good. We actually had Darkseid in a Justice League movie, and they actually took him out of Justice League. That's ridiculous. They actually took all the best bits from, I mean, it's fucking nuts. John Black Adam actually looks scary in the post-credit scene. Well, yeah, I mean, look, he's not a man to be trifled with, is he? I mean, we're not talking about Santa Claus here or the Tooth Fairy or the Easter Bunny. We are live here on Movies TV Mad. This is the random live evening chat we do every evening. During the day, in the morning, first thing in the morning, I do the DC Universe Daily Live. Maybe a pre-recorded video after that. There's a lot to talk about right now as well. Ronnie Dodge, Ray Porter is following James Gunn, so I'd like a 10-year plan. Interesting. Ronnie Dodge to lead up to Darkseid. Although I don't want to wait 10 years to see Darkseid again. That would be a long wait, wouldn't it? And I mean, I'm 50 now, Ronnie. I may not make it to 60, mate. So I would like to see that before 10 years. But we could finally be getting a connective DC universe, and that excites me. That's why I'm not bothered about Superman and Lois or any of these shows being canned. Berlanti's had his time for 10 years. It's time to do something. Ronnie Dodge, something is definitely coming with James. Oh, yeah, he started with these squirrels yesterday. Yeah, so very exciting. Look, this is what you have to do. Fans, this is what's been going on in the MCU for years. Not so much now. It runs itself, and Feige isn't really kind of as vocal as he used to be, which is a shame. But yeah, this is what you want. You want this. You want someone who's into this shit like you are, and James certainly is. Bat Super, do you think there is any chance for the Ayer cut to come out? Is it unlikely? Well, David Ayer keeps on throwing hints out there. It's interesting. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen sooner rather than later. I don't know, my friend. I still choose to believe there's a chance. As I said, when the Snyder Cut was released, the Ayer cut should have been released back to back with the Snyder Cut. The Ayer cut kind of canonically should have come before the Snyder Cut. So that was unfair. And nobody was really fighting for David's movie, not even Zack Snyder, to be honest. He got his film out, and that's all he cared about. Ronnie Dodge, it's going to be Feige versus James Gunn and Safran at Comic-Con. Yeah, it's going to be fun, isn't it? Well, that's a long way off, isn't it? A long way off to be thinking about that for me yet, but there's a lot to come before Comic-Con. I don't think Comic-Con is the be-all and end-all like it used to be. So I think announcements come prior to that now a lot more. Bad Super Air screened the movie for one of the release the Air Cut accounts does. He have to get clearance from WBD to do that. Yeah, I know he screened it for the fan. I was surprised. I don't know if he had to get clearance or if he because he wrote and directed it, he can do that. He can show it to people. It's interesting, isn't it? But that was a surprise. That was a surprise. That could be the biggest of hints that it's happening. Ronnie Dodge, I'm going to go, mate. Hopefully a lot of news day tomorrow. Yes, let's hope it's a big news day tomorrow, Ronnie. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow, my friend. Bye-bye, and thank you for getting involved with the live chat. As per usual, it's been very, very good. Very, very exciting. Ronnie Dodge, take care, mate. You too. See you later. Been a lovely evening of live chatting thus far. This is Movies TV Mad Live. Please interact. Please get involved. If you've got something to say, constructive, please don't be afraid to ask or make a comment. I can't wait to check out all this James Gunn jazz, see what he's playing at. Dead Man, eh? What's all that about? Could he be a villain? Could Dead Man be a villain? Could it be Dead Man versus Deathstroke, for example? So that's interesting. It's nuts that he's still working on a Marvel movie and he's hyping all this shit up. That's madness. I'm glad. I'm happy. But yeah. He's always on the internet. He seems to be, whenever anyone posts a fake article, he's there. So watch out. James Gunn's about. Nobody's safe. Nobody is safe because James could literally be watching this video right now. He could be one of the 7 people watching this video. How do I know? He could be one of you lot. This could be a test. MSGT, I think Dead Man is better kept as a character among an ensemble, and I think, yeah, that's why I'm wondering. Interesting. Yeah, I suppose, I don't know much about him. Only what you guys have told me, but it does seem like it'll be difficult to do a series of him, but who knows what Gunn is playing at. Maybe he'll be involved, Dead Man, in Peacemaker 2. We will see. Ronnie Dodge, hey mate, I'm back. David dropped a picture of him editing Fury of the Gods. Is that his new movie, isn't it? But he's throwing off hints all the time. It's mad. MSGT, from what I remember, he seems to just drift into situations but has no affiliations. Interesting. As I say, he sounds like a very interesting character. And I want these unknown characters that some of us don't know about because it fills out the universe. That's proper world building. So I want like the top tier characters to be filled out properly. But I also want these other characters. We can have them all because this is what having a DC Studios in the DC universe is all about. It doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It can be everything. So that's fun. That's fun. MSGT, is Spectre DC or Marvel? I'm not sure. Bad Super, did you hear about the untitled event film from Warner Brothers Discovery? No, but there's always going to be one of them, isn't it? It might not even be a DC film. Who knows? No, I didn't hear about that, to be honest. I don't know when that came out. But that could be absolutely anything. But that could be the Superman movie, by the way. Who knows? Who knows? It's all very, very curious and very exciting. And it's a good time to be a DC fan because anything can drop at any time. This time last week, we found out that Henry Cavill was back as Superman. It made Grace Randolph cry. It was fun. I like seeing Grace Randolph cry. It's fun. I love tasting her salty tears. I mean, she's a nut job. She really is. She's never liked Henry Cavill as Superman. She never gave Man of Steel a good write-up either. So yeah, she gets these vendettas with people she doesn't even know. It's just weird. But she doesn't know anything that we don't know. SB, have you ever watched Justice League Doom? No, that's an animated movie. No, I haven't seen that one. There's a few animated movies I haven't seen because it all works out pretty expensive if you get them all. Bad Super, the date for the Untitled Event film is November 2022. It feels like it's something other than DC, but what is it? It feels so mysterious. Yeah, it can't be a DC film. The only way, I mean, who knows? They could push forward one of these films. I doubt it, but yeah, it sounds like another film. But why would they have a mystery film for November? Because they always tell kind of the industry and they market their movies. So anything that's going to come out this year is going to come out. So that's a bit strange. I don't know about that. I mean, where are you getting this from? You're not getting this from WB, are you? So this could actually be utter bullshit. I mean, it would be mad if they just released a DC movie. But that doesn't make sense to me. Bat Super, let me go back and check. I saw it a few months ago. It has to be BS. Yes, it is. Most if things are not coming officially, I don't even take any notice of them. MSGT, I don't think it's about a mystery movie, but a reserved date for any more release changes. Maybe. You've probably got a point. But yeah, everything that's coming out, we know about. They can't, we're in November tomorrow. There's no mystery movies. It's not possible. It's just blogger bullshit. Every film that's been released for the remainder of this year is out there. We know it. There's no secret. Now, if this was November next year, I'd say, oh, well, that's interesting. But November of this year, no way. We know what's coming out in November. I must say, I'm very excited about James Cameron's Avatar: Way of the Water. Over 3 hours this film's going to be. I can't wait to watch that. James Cameron is a genius. Which one did he direct? Alien or Aliens? Terminator, Terminator 2, Avatar, Titanic. I mean, the guy's a fucking legend. Titanic, the ultimate tragic love story. In Avatar, we've got a great love story, about two people from two different worlds. I mean, Cameron's brilliant. James Cameron is one of the best directors of our time. And I mean, when I watch Titanic, I think to myself, how the fuck did he pull this off? And it's a true story. This is Movies TV Mad, live and exclusive on your screens. A Ryan Dawn of Hope, DCEU fan. Cinematics, now that Stargirl is cancelled, we can get a full JSA in the DCU. It's just my assumption. Well, there's more chance of it now, But Jeff Johns has really got ownership of that character, so he would have to be involved. MSGT, I've got to get busy elsewhere. Laters, Mick. Goodbye, MSGT. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the interactions. John, if it is coming from Mickey Sutton, it is not true. Yeah, anything coming from that geezer. I mean, he's the Mike Zero. What is it with Mickeys and Mikes? Although I'm Mick. So, yeah, that doesn't say much for my rep. Ronnie Dodge. Henry just came out and said he wants his Superman to inspire people that they can fly and be the best people they can be. Sounds like a reboot, like you said. Wow, when did he say this? When did he say this, Ronnie? When did he say this? Well, it could be a rebooted Superman. I don't know. But I don't know how we go from Snyder Cut Superman to, oh, look, I've got a spit coal and I listen to the John Williams theme in my spare time. I just send you the Twitter link. I'll have to check it out later because my phone's off and I can't leave this page. But yeah, I'll read it later. He has been promoting Enola Holmes and been saying different things. But again, that's a very positive quote. With Henry on board, you know there's going to be no propaganda, no hate for men, no hate for the fans. When you've got people like Henry involved. So that is, listen, that quote is exactly who Superman is. This is what Superman inspired me to be as a small boy. When I was being bullied at school, I came home and watched Superman the movie or Superman 2. And it made me feel better about life. And that's what Superman should do. He shouldn't be some real world, person. He isn't a real world character. He's there to make us ask the question, wouldn't it be nice if someone could save us? And that's the thing with Superman. He is an inspiration. And people who don't understand that, unfortunately, never will. Ronnie Dodge, breaking news. Yaya, who plays Black Manta, is going to Marvel play Wonder Man. Oh, boring. Yeah, I mean, he's not full-time DC anyway. I mean, he can come back and play Black Manta again. Maybe things are going to change and they change the universe. So, yeah, it's not that important. I'm not bothered. It's not like it's Henry Cavill going over there or something. So, good luck to Yaya. He's a really good actor. But, yeah, don't care about him. Once you go to Marvel, I don't care about you. Not interested. Isn't Wonder Man a rip-off of Wonder Woman? But listen to this. You know what's funny about him? He said that superheroes, he was putting them down the other day, and now he's going, these people are so full of shit. That rumor has been around for a while, actually. So, yeah, I'm not surprised about that. Ray Dawn of Hope, DCU fans, cinematics, how much ownership does he have on the JSA? Well, listen, Stargirl is based on Jeff's dead sister. She died when she was very young, and he based the character and he created her. There could be other versions of Stargirl, but that version is definitely his. So he would have to be involved. Now, he did write the JSA episode of Smallville as well, so it kind of does interlink, but he wasn't involved with their introduction to Black Adam. But maybe it proves the point that we had a very limited JSA in Black Adam, and maybe it was because Jeff Johns wasn't involved. And if you want the peak, because we saw a lot more of the JSA characters being used in Smallville Absolute Justice than we did in Black Adam. So it means probably that Johns does have a lot of say-so over that team. Bad Super, I saw the untitled event film info from discussing film. No source, so probably bullshit. Only untitled event film info I can find is from Deadline. But that was about 29. Yeah, it's not happening, mate. Not happening. There's no untitled films at this short space of time for November. It's simply not possible. All the films that are coming are coming. Now, if you told me it was next year, I'd be intrigued. But it's bullshit. thing is, if something's not revealed, if something's not confirmed by studios, it doesn't really hit me that much. I mean, rumors are interesting, but they're just rumors. And it's obvious which ones are bullshit and which ones are not. So, it's all developing tonight very interestingly, isn't it? Bye-bye, Yaya. You're like a yo-yo, mate. Wonder Man. Who gives a shit about Wonder Man? So this is interesting. Is Wonder Man black in the comics? Basically white. That'd be interesting. We have 5 viewers. We have 10 likes. Baz Super, the discussing film tweet said February 2023. The other day was from IMDb. Both are probably wrong. Yeah, it's all very unreliable stuff, I'm afraid, my friend. Very, very unreliable. And it's definitely nothing to do with DC. Let's see what happens with the 4 remaining movies from the Hamadaverse. Oh, dear. Very good evening to you. I hope you're enjoying the live show. We've nearly been on the air for 2 hours, which is amazing. And the conversation's pretty much kept going, which is brilliant. But there is lots going on in the DC universe right now. And something tells me when we get to November the 1st and we get to about 5, 7 o'clock in the evening when America wakes up, we could be getting some big news from James Gunn and Peter Safran because it'll be their first official day. So that's exciting. And then Thursday, we've got the investors call. Exciting again. So things are really, the investors call could confirm the Superman movie, by the way. That's what I'm expecting, for sure. So, yes, tomorrow could be a big, big day. It'd be interesting to see what happens to Jeff Johns now that Stargirl's been cancelled. It's going to be very, very interesting what happens next. So, guys, get your comments in before I go. I think we'll go in a couple of minutes' time. It's been a great 2-hour live chat. I've had a really good time with it. So if you've got any last final thoughts before I pop off, please put them in the comments. I'll give you time to jot something down in case you've got some final thoughts before I shoot off. Don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow with the DC Universe Daily Live in the morning at some point. So look out for that. Who knows what big news we'll have to report then. And if we don't have much tomorrow morning, I think by the time we have the evening live show, there's going to be a bit to feed off. Could even be breaking as I'm here live tomorrow. So I'm very excited about tomorrow and Thursday. And it's certainly a unique time to be involved with DC fandom, whether you're working in DC. But I feel positively about DC going forward. So do I at this point. I'll judge the decisions as they come in. Of course, the director of the next Superman film will be a very vital component, and I'll make my mind up, and I'll see if it's a good move. And that will tell us if they're going in the right direction as well. But, when we find out who's writing and directing this upcoming Superman movie, because we'll know if they know what they're doing or not. John, David F. Sandberg just said on Twitter that he just finished Shazam 2. Wow, so we should be getting a trailer soon. We've already had one, but we're definitely going to get another. So that's, yeah, thank you for that, John. Very, very, it's a big night of DC tidbits, isn't it? Which is good. Darkman. So he's obviously just finished post-production. But that's mad, because that film was, that's funny. That film was supposed to come out at the same time as Avatar, right? Around the same time as Avatar, Ways of the Water. And he's only just finished it, what, at the end of October? I mean, you can still make the release date, but it's interesting, isn't it? It just shows you they work on these movies right to the last minute. Right, everyone, thank you for tuning in. This has been Movies TV Mad Live. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please do all the stuff, share it, like it, all of that stuff. Let's spread the word about what's going on here, because as far as I'm concerned, we may not have the subscribers, we may not have the footfall, but I think this is the #1 place to come for DC discussion and DC content, because I think the way I do it, I tell you the news, but I give you the opinions on the news, and I know a little bit about what's going on, and it's fun. And this is the place you can keep, updated. And also on these live chats, by the way, someone like John can come in, or Ronnie can come in and give you some updates at the same time while I'm live, because I can't be on Twitter at the same time. So that's good as well, isn't it? So we got it all covered on these lives. The lives are going to continue. You begged me for the lives in ages, and they're going to remain. So until I see you tomorrow for the DC Universe Daily Live tomorrow morning, please have a lovely evening. I'm going to give this voice box a rest because I'm fucking knackered, but I've had a great time interacting with you. Thank you, everyone. Peace out. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. It's been fun.